Hey, yo, everybody. Thank you for listening to this podcast. It is the 4th episode we have.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here with my boy Kendrick.
What's poppin'?
And Locks today, he shameless plug, but he wanted us to let y'all know that he's at a gig today. So he could not be here with us. So Locks is away today, but we do have a nice young lady filling in for him today. And so go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, so my name is Dahlia. I'm a hairstylist here in San Diego. Follow me on Instagram at Dolled by Dahlia. And I'm gonna be filling in for Locks today.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, so we're changing things up today. We have another person here today. I don't know, that was kind of weird. Another person. That's all you are.
Right.
Another human being
Right.
here.
Yeah, you're just another person. But no, so we have that today. So
Before we start, like, how are you doing?
oh shoot, yeah, we didn't even do all that.
Rude.
I'm pretty good, guys. Thank you. How are you guys doing today?
I can't complain,
Tired, man. This is like cuddle weather.
Right.
So
it is.
I went home and took a little nap.
Yeah, nice and cozy.
Yeah.
So
I was knocked out. I'm not even gonna lie.
man, and then when it gets darker outside, it just makes me want to stay in the house, which is cool because I like this weather.
Right.
But
Yeah,
It's
I was
dark
like
outside. It's
catching
like
up
4
on
o'clock.
Stranger Things. I'm barely watching it. Just finished the first season, but
Yeah, she's new to this.
You enjoying it?
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Stranger Things.
I don't really watch creepy things, but
Okay.
I'm watching it.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
watching
she
it.
was so scared to watch it. I'm like, it's not scary, trust. It's just it looked like that. But yeah. So we watched Stranger Things today, and what about you, Kendra? What'd you do this week?
You know what? It was a busy week because, like, right now, we're in the process of getting some AC units put in the studio. And this summer was ridiculous. And so that was kind of like one of the biggest things that I needed to invest in. And,
Yeah.
with the new build out, the build out's great, but it's whack when you have no air circulation going in. So we found a good deal. The guy is Leroy Jenkins. That's what we call him.
Plug.
If he's hearing this, we call him Leroy, brother Leroy. But he's hooking us up. He got us a good deal, 2 units. And the motor is on the roof, and he's finishing up tomorrow, and it's gonna be popping.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you're gonna have the AC ready for winter.
Yeah. Well,
But next summer he's gonna be ready though.
Well, no. So it's a AC unit and a heating unit.
Cool.
So it's
Shaba.
Warm
on both
winter.
sides. So like,
Nice.
when we have sessions, when we're here doing podcasts, it can get a comfort.
be nice.
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
and
Cool,
cozy.
cool.
Ooh, you need some Christmas lights in here, bro.
I know.
Sorry, never mind.
Right. I know.
Just some decoration, just like
Some
for the
vibes.
year.
Some vibes. That's all I need.
We have
man.
lights though. We do. I got some
Yeah,
lights.
Yeah, fix that.
Vibes. But I'm good. It was a busy week, tired, but hey, that's part of the hustle.
Man, I feel it. That's
If you
dope.
want it, you got to go get it, right?
Yeah, you have to.
What about you?
Man, busy week, man.
Yeah.
Busy week. So I've been working on the brand a lot.
Okay.
So if you don't follow Temple Co, you need to go to Instagram right now. Pull your little phone out, your little cracked iPhone 6 Plus. Pull it out. Go to Instagram.
If you have an iPhone 4, slap yourself.
If you got a flip phone, I said flip phone. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. That's my bad.
If
It's
you're
cool.
still
Some
playing
people
Snake
barely
on your
got the 8,
phone,
but already
Playing
cracked
Snake
it.
on your little Nokia. Hey, those phones are faithful, bro.
right.
But yeah, it's been a busy week, man. So we photo shoots, just
Dope.
working, making. So I have a holiday drop coming up. So if you're listening to this, you probably already saw it. If not, I have a holiday drop coming up in a couple weeks.
Dope.
So
Dope.
the visuals are dropping tomorrow.
Dope.
And then I believe we're going to be doing pre-orders for the first 7 days.
Okay.
Because this is going to be an extremely limited drop. So
Okay.
it's a holiday drop, obviously, so you have to get it during December.
So what are you giving them? What are you selling? What's the product? Can you give that away or is
I
it-
can't. So what you
Okay.
have to do is you have to go to the Temple Co. On Instagram, and
Sure.
you will be able to see all the news and all that stuff. But I'm sitting here looking at pictures on my laptop right now, and
My.
it's gonna be so
Some
flames.
tasty treats.
Treats. I'm saying it's gonna be so flames. And then I did a shoot downtown yesterday morning with the homies, and so we got a lot of
That's dope. So it was
Lot
like
of
a
shots.
photo shoot and a video shoot, or
photo shoot. I talked to somebody today, about doing a video shoot. And
Okay.
so I should have the video shoot coming up hopefully next week or maybe this week if we can swing it. But I need these things like done
Pronto.
ASAP because this is a holiday drop.
Yeah.
So I think by Black Friday, the pre-sales will start.
There it is.
So Black Friday pre-sales start, and then you should be able to get all your stuff.
There
Sometime
it is.
December.
And what was the plug again on Instagram?
Instagram at the Temple Co. Don't mess it up. At the Temple Co.
There
So,
it is. Plug.
Go and check that out. But yeah. And what about you? Anything this week? Anything interesting for you this week?
Everything was pretty good this week. I just had school, just busy with that, work today, and yeah, but it was pretty much a pretty chill week for me.
Pretty chill week.
Like, what made you want to
Pretty
go
chill.
into like that industry? Because I'm sure it's like a lot of competition, but like, what made you want to
Yeah,
go?
definitely. There's definitely a lot of people in the hairstylist industry. It's really big, but what made me want to go into it, I've been like doing it since I was 15 or even 13. I would always do my own hair. And,
Dope.
you know, do my mom's, my friends, my sister's hair. And then, like, you know, sometimes you go into a hair shop or, you know, you want to get your hair cut and stuff. And then
Mhm.
you see that it's like they never give you what you truly want. So
I feel it.
then that's how we all started. My sister started doing her own hair too and everything. And I pretty much wanted to be the hairstylist that could give you what you want and make you happy with your hair. And I just think it's pretty cool. Women take care of themselves and take care of their hair and their makeup and their nails and everything. And, you know, you want to like make them feel beautiful, make
Yeah.
them feel good. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. I like the fact that, because to me, doing hair, doing things with nails and things like that, you have to have a creative mindset to do that type of stuff.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like you just, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
just brush my hair and I'm a hairstylist. No, you
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
see it
that's
too.
cool.
Sometimes I see pictures and then like I just can't see like how do you see where this is
yeah.
going?
Yeah, like sometimes
don't-
I'm looking
I
at
can't.
pictures and I'm like, man, this is so cool, like the hair and everything. And I
Yeah.
understand other people don't get it. Yeah.
Sure.
But like they don't see what you're looking at. But it is really cool. And like you see a whole nother side of like hair and everything. You look at it so different after that.
I thought it was like, let's say if you have black hair and you want blonde hair, it's like go get blonde dye, put it on
Right.
there. It's a wrap. But like
Throw
no, it
some
doesn't
blonde
work
on
that.
top of
It
that.
doesn't work like that. You gotta put a primer and you gotta. I don't know if that. No, I don't know if that's hair. But
Right.
It's a lot of stuff to it.
Yeah,
Right.
there definitely is. Yeah.
Is there? Do you find yourself in a space where it's like, it's so much competition, you get like a lot of people that are like jealous and stuff because you're so gifted?
I don't truly feel like that, you know, but because I think everybody in the hairstylist world, well, at least the people that I'm surrounded around, they are really supportive and everyone likes to support each other. And, you know, the other people that don't, stay away from them, you know, but I think it is a very like competitive industry and, you know, you just have to like always push yourself. But
That's dope.
yeah.
That's dope.
That's it.
I always look at artists, people like that, as just like artists, because again, you have to have the idea, the creativity, and just the skill set to like
Exactly,
pull something
yeah.
like. It's just not right. It's not just for everybody. I've seen some people do some hair, and it's just like, what happened? Like, why? What's going on?
You
Those
don't give me those
turnips and
scissors
stuff.
right now. Put
You
the
don't
blade
put
down,
them
let the
down.
girl go right now.
That is not your gift.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you know what? I actually I thought about it for like a clean month or two. Like maybe I should do women's hair. But there would be a lot of
Honestly,
upset
I feel
women.
like Missy, you're a really creative person. Like I wouldn't be surprised if you were really good at it though. But
I don't know, man.
I feel like you have the eye for things, you know, like you're able to create a lot of things. So with your brand and everything, so maybe you could. do
You
it,
never
but-
know.
All right, well, let me do your hair.
You never know.
Let's go
You
get
have
that dye
salon
right
one
now.
day.
Right.
Let me do y'all's hair.
Right.
Oh no? Okay. No faith.
That's dope. I mean, again, much
Thanks,
success to you. I'm
thanks.
sure everything's going to be just fine when you know, finally tap into that
Yeah.
ownership and I'm a boss. Don't be messing with me because I'm good.
You can tell when she starts being bougie when she got the big glasses and the purse. When she walks with her hand upside down.
And the red bottoms.
Everything's gonna change.
You
huh?
walk around with the palm
I got
up.
blood
You'll
shoes.
know.
You know.
You
Oh,
never
man.
know.
That's dope. Well, again, like I said, much success to you. And
Thank
keep
you.
grinding.
Thank you very
Keep
much.
grinding, girl. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop believing.
Hey, who is that?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So let's just do a couple of news updates.
Yeah.
Well, not really updates, but it's something we wanted to talk about. Shootings, the Texas shooting, man, that's something that's been like heavy.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, I just found out today at church we have security. I didn't even know that. But they're like air marshals. They walk around like you don't know who they are, but they got little earpieces in and they're all talking to each other.
Secret Service?
Yeah, but Secret Lighthouse Service.
Secret
Top
Service
flight.
episode.
Top flight. Dum, da, da, da.
Right.
I mean, but you have to. That's the sad part. It's like, man, like, what would happen if somebody just came up in the church and just started going off?
But isn't
Yeah,
that crazy
exactly.
how like
That's an actual fear right
Yeah.
now. That's crazy.
and what it was like 20 plus people?
Yeah, and this,
Died.
most of them was
Yeah.
kids. That's crazy. And so I've been like just listening to the news a lot. When I get to work, the first thing I do is I turn my computer on and
Sure.
I get the news right away.
Right.
And so a lot of people are arguing right now whether or not gun control is the answer.
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah, bro.
Yeah, I definitely don't think so.
Stupid people with guns.
Well, so then where do you think this huge? I mean, all of a sudden these mass shootings are every couple of weeks. Like,
Yeah.
where do you think
You
that's
don't
coming
want
from?
my opinion. I'm gonna be. Y'all gonna hate me.
Man, what's your opinion, bro?
I just feel like a lot of them are set up.
You think so?
I think so, especially these police shootings, man. These cats got an agenda.
You think so? Or what would that be?
This is just my opinion. I think so because again, if you really look at it, look at the statistics and things, and look at the stories that have come out. Like there's police officers. There was a story where like a handful of New York police officers went to the news station, sat down with them, and told them the agenda that their chiefs are giving them, and they all said, "Yes, we're targeting certain zip codes and certain peoples of color and things of that nature, and these are the directions and duties that our bosses are giving us."
So you think they're the cops going in there and shooting up?
No, well, no, not the churches. I think that because majority of the mass shootings have been recently from police officers.
Oh, okay.
Now the ones that are like the gentleman that shot up the church, not even gentleman, that fool's.
Yeah.
He's a thug,
Yeah,
he's a terrorist.
Definitely.
That
yeah,
was a
Y'all
thug.
hear this on TV, man. You know what's been killing me is we're looking at the little news articles and they keep calling him a gunman.
Yeah, gunmen or like.
But like when it's a black person that does anything, it's like young thug, hoodlum, or some crazy like
something
title,
ridiculous,
Yeah.
terrorist, and
yeah.
it's wild. That's what I'm saying. So
or they bring up the past, like he was arrested, when he was 12 years old for marijuana possession. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
right.
it's like
He
really
was 30 years old.
exactly. Your boy's grown. He knows what he's doing.
But I haven't heard the past of this
Yeah.
dude yet. The gunman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
gunman,
Or
He
like,
was-
they'll change the narrative or switch the narrative to, oh, he was mentally ill, or he was.
Yeah, always.
Come on, let's just be honest. And the right person
but we're aggressive.
right, we're the thugs. So when you start talking about that type of shooting and that type of narrative, to me, when it comes to guns, it's not gun control that's the issue. It's people with the guns, stupid people that are shooting people. The guns don't shoot themselves. It's the people
Yeah.
that are shooting is the problem.
And I definitely think like this is happening so much that it's becoming like normal. So then all these people that are truly crazy, and if you are mentally ill, then now they're seeing like, hey, I can go out there and do that because nothing's gonna happen to
Exactly.
me. Nothing.
Exactly.
Like, how many times has it happened? I can go out there and like shoot up a church and I'm gonna be fine. You know.
Exactly.
So I
And-
think it's becoming the norm.
Well,
like
not us. Not everybody can do that, dog.
that's true. That's true. But I think people are like,
I
it's
feel
giving
you.
people like like I'm able to do that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
they put that narrative like it's okay. I'm gonna just go buy me a gun or get me a gun or get access to a gun and just do what I
Yeah.
do. Like really, come on, man.
What's crazy is how often this is happening, because I haven't heard anything about the Vegas massacre.
Exactly.
Like in a while, like that's already like off of our minds, but like that
And
People are already in Vegas partying it up all over again.
in the same like
Yeah.
area.
same area,
Yep.
probably it's still in the same hotel. That hotel is still making
Yes.
money.
Exactly.
Probably the same room.
Mm-hmm. So again, when you have that, and I'm not, you said it best. You said people have gotten so used to it to the point where, again, it's the norm. So when you see a mass shooting like that, it's become so normalized to the point where it's just like, it's all good. There's
Yeah.
no sympathy.
It was just literally all over Facebook for a week, and then
Right.
that's it.
Right.
The
Everybody
next
got
week
to
they
use their
booked
little
their hotel.
hashtags and stuff,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then that's over.
And post their little
Exactly.
thing. What was it? Save Italy, pray for Hades, and all that. Like, to me, that's
Yeah.
corny. Like, that has
You're gonna
nothing.
change your like profile picture and everything, but what are you really doing about it?
Yeah. So again, when it's stuff like that just gets to the point where it's normal, to me, it's like that's so phony. To me, that's fake.
Yeah.
And I'll never say that fake news. There's fake news, but I'm more open with the idea to know that, you know, these news stations are pushing information, even if it's not true, just for
and people
ratings.
are eating it up though.
Oh yeah,
they'll take it. You know, it's fine for them. Like they're accepting it.
Right.
Okay.
And you know what though? To even go deeper, Missy, I think like if you want to go deeper, I say who's taking accountability on these reporters. Mm-hmm. Because again, they're getting this information, they're getting this dialogue, and they're the ones that's spewing out, oh well, this gunman rather than a thug or a terrorist or whatever. They use these words for everybody else of color, and it's proven. You can go on any news station right now, and they're using those type of words in that dialogue, and then. Mm-hmm. But when it's someone of their own race, or when it's a white gentleman, and I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but when it's a white gentleman, that's just what it is. Oh, he has a mental issue.
Normal guy or something. Yeah.
He has a mental issue. What?
Mm-hmm. So then, what do you think the solution is then? If it's not gun control, I get it. Like there's crazy people out there. Okay. How do you fix it?
It's talking about it. It's like, you know, bringing awareness to it. Like, you know, it starts from like us, and then whoever hears this, they'll pass it on, and it's just.
Well, I think people are aware that people are tripping.
No, I think. Yeah, they're aware, but it's just like the whole Vegas thing. Like they're aware for a week, and then they'll forget about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So maybe talking about it isn't enough because it was all over the news.
Right. I think talking about it is like.
It's a step.
Yeah.
It's a step, but I still think it's like.
So because this is what I'm saying. Like talking about it gets a certain place.
Sure.
And then like what's the next step? So talking about it, saying now we all agree that it's kind of crazy. Now what?
Mm-hmm. So what is it about gun control that do you think needs to be changed?
Well, I don't think gun control is the answer either.
Mm-hmm. I think gun control like would make a difference because obviously people wouldn't be able to get their hands on it. Like,
but here's the thing though: a lot of these people that are getting these guns to kill people. Aren't doing it legally. So making it harder to get a gun legally doesn't change the fact that criminals are getting these guns.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Especially like if you black and you know you from the hood or not, you already know we ain't using guns that got serial numbers and stuff on it. All that stuff's gone.
Right.
So like making it easier, making it harder for them to get a gun legally, it's not going to change anything for anybody but all the people that are hunting.
Right.
or stuff like that, you know?
So majority of the people that are doing these mass shootings, they're licensed gun owners. Think about that. Yeah. A lot of them are.
But if they weren't, you know, how hard is it to go down the street and ask, you know, old Ricky Bobby to, sell you a 9 for a couple $100?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, again, we asked what's the solution. I mean, I don't know. Because it's just like the quote unquote war on drugs. Like, how did the drugs get into the communities?
Yeah,
it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just saying that because again, it's an item that can be easily purchased. Yeah, or you can get it down the street. Same thing with drugs. For one, I look at the source of things. Like, how did the guns get in these communities? And if you purchased it from a actual facility or building that sells guns, well, what about the trainings or what how do I know that you're or what's the word I'm looking for? How do I know that you are mentally stable enough to purchase or handle a gun? Yeah. Like, how deep are the requirements to own a gun, and you know what I'm saying, to purchase one, things of that nature. So
exactly, because like the guy in Vegas, like he didn't go down the street, down in the hood or anywhere, like on wherever he lives, like and purchase one from somebody. He clearly had like a lot of them.
Sure. You know what's crazy though? Even on that story, I still, like I said, when I said before, like a lot of stuff is planned. I was watching a clip on Facebook, and I think I tagged you in it. Maybe. But there was a clip where a kid like dissected the actual shooting from CNN News. And so
at the rate of it and stuff like that.
Well,
was it the speed one?
Not necessarily. The speed of it, but like there was a point where like everyone was saying that the gentleman was shooting from a higher like 12. But during the actual shooting and the recording of people like recording the actual event, like there were like if you go lower, like they were recording and you could see shots being fired from like the 5th or 4th
Oh yeah,
floor.
I saw that. Yeah.
And it showed on CNN the actual like shots coming out of the room.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ain't that? But so to me, and I'm saying this
It
again,
makes you think, man.
it's like what's really popping off?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we got a weird conversation about to pop off. Conspiracy theories, then.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, no. This is so serious, bro. Because you know what? I feel like conspiracy theories. It's like there's almost a stigma that comes with it. Like if you ever tap into conspiracy theories, like you're like, man, this feels
You're a weirdo.
This feels weird.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of questions that I have. Then.
Sure.
So I seen this clip that this guy had a clip that he put together about how Stranger Things may be based on a true story. Did you see that?
No, I didn't even
I
see
was
that.
actually thinking that when I was watching it, and I was like, man, a lot of people actually think this is like real life, you know? Like a lot of people like have thoughts like this.
Well,
believe
this is
in
the
things
thing.
like this.
Well, so he had like the sources, and he had like all like the
evidence and things.
not evidence, because he just had like he put together like a video clip. It was
Okay.
like one of those clips where you almost like documentary style.
Okay.
Or how it was probably based on a true story, and he had all these like actual like events that happened where like he even had a clip of like Bill Clinton like apologizing because the government actually had these places set up where they tested on people.
Wow.
They used to test on inmates, and they would just test on, you know, different people and try like drugs on people to see what would happen.
Right.
And then they would try
That's crazy.
experiments on like psychics and stuff like that. And then they would like, and in Stranger Things, remember, I don't know if you haven't watched it, my bad, but like remember like the place,
For them.
you know, the place they were like they had tested LSD on a bunch of people, and then they kind of went crazy, and then they started testing on they started messing with their kids, and so, like, you know what I'm saying, and so that was like that actually happened,
Right.
and so there's that stuff that nobody ever wants to talk about, like,
Sure.
yo, why is the government testing like this stuff on inmates and like testing for sidekicks and type of stuff like that, you know?
Right.
And then I also just watched this the other day. I think it was like on Facebook. You know how you watch one video and then the next video, like a related video, comes
Sure.
and slides
Sure.
up. And the next video was no, I think it was the other day when I was on YouTube. Never mind, it was different. But it was Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
And do you remember when Dave Chappelle left to Africa?
Yeah.
And he came back and did that interview on, I think it was Oprah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about some stuff.
Yeah.
And he would kind of say like, what? Yeah, he's like, I'm a strong guy, and
Sure.
he was talking about Martin Lawrence, and he's a strong dude. He's like, what would make me go to Africa? Like, think about that. He obviously didn't want to say it, but then
Right.
he's like, you know, Martin Lawrence is a strong dude. So what, you know,
Will
has
cause
this
a person to go that crazy
yeah,
or make
go in the
Yeah.
street waving the guns, yelling they're trying to kill me. Like, he's a normal person. He's not tripping. So
Yeah.
like, what is causing us to act that way?
Right.
What do you think it is?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like, man, like we rushed that conversation under the carpet quick.
Yeah.
But
And then still consider him crazy because what? The media sources threw that narrative out there like he was a crazy man and things of that nature. Then your boy comes back, does 3 Netflix series and gets paid $60+ million. So it's not about he's not crazy. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
he's
like,
not crazy.
Yeah.
He's straight.
he's a very
But,
smart
like,
man.
but like obviously, and I don't know if you noticed it, but like since he's been back, like
Yeah.
in the light and stuff, he obviously he's Dave Chappelle, so he's hilarious.
sure.
But he seems different.
You think
You see-
in a good way or a bad way?
Almost like in a way to where it's like I learned my lesson. Like he's
Sure.
still gonna be Dave Chappelle, but he's not gonna.
He's gonna limit himself.
Yeah, he's gonna watch what he says. You know what I'm saying? But so how do you have that interview on Oprah and then just disappear all this time and like
Yeah.
no one hears from you and then come back on TV and then just like try to continue where you left off?
Right.
I'm not continue where you left off and
Right.
not continue the conversation you tried to have.
Sure.
And now you're back to just telling jokes. It's like, wait, hold up. You was just talking about all this crazy stuff a few years
Yeah.
ago.
Now all of a sudden you're back on top again.
Yeah, but you don't want to like continue the conversation you was having about like all this weird stuff that was happening. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, how do you walk away from like this successful show? He was even saying that. What would make me walk away from a successful show
Yeah,
and
he
move to
did.
Africa? You know, and then to come back and then to buy a ranch in the middle of nowhere and just to stay out there.
Right.
So
Right.
what is it? I don't know, man. And then you got
Something's going on.
all these crazy videos about, you know, a gunman on the 12th floor, but you see a little light popping off on the 5th floor,
Right.
4th floor, and like, Okay, explain that.
Explain that. Somebody explain that. And until this day, they haven't explained anything.
You see the other video of somebody shooting. It was another hotel in Vegas around the same time, and somebody has it on video. No one ever talked about it, but like people was running around the lobby tripping, screaming, and you can hear the gun in the background.
Wow.
And it was a different hotel.
Yeah, I actually have a friend who left Vegas a few hours before the shooting, which is crazy. She was super scared after that. But yeah, she said that she still knew people who stayed there. She went home, like a friend of hers stayed, and they said it was multiple hotels. Like it wasn't just one. It was like supposedly it was like people who had like set up to do this, like they scheduled it and everything, and that one guy was the only one who decided to go through with it. The other people didn't. He like flew out his girlfriend. He knew he was gonna do it. Everything. Like the people in the hotel that he was staying at would always let him stay in rooms for free and everything, so everything was fine. They asked him like, you didn't even think it was weird that he was bringing in all these bags and bags full of stuff? And they're like, we didn't.
Yeah,
even
he had
notice.
duffel bags of guns, bro.
But who's to say that he did it? That's my thing. Like, who's to say that? Are we taking that? And I'm not knocking what you're saying, but I'm saying, are we taking that narrative from the news sources because the news sources said that? Like, we don't know if this guy brought these bags up in there and actually like set it up, or was it actually planned? You know what I'm saying?
Because then how do you all of a sudden not have any footage of this dude coming in?
Yeah,
and then. Why would he bring all those guns up to the 12th floor? You know how much work that is?
That's a lot of work.
And then just shoot for like, how long was he shooting for?
For a while. Yeah.
Not as long as he should have been with all that stuff.
It wasn't no 2 minutes.
Well, that sounded crazy. Not as long as he should have been. You guys know what I'm saying. But like, not that he should have been doing it longer, but But I'm saying like, he looked like he planned on being there for a while.
Sure.
So how do you just cut it short and put a bullet in your head?
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is enough. Like, I know I have, like a couple bags of guns left, but yeah, this is cool.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, it makes me think. It makes me want.
And it's like, why? And again, for me, it's like, why would someone do that? Yeah. You have to have what? And what kills me is that, like, what's your motive? My thing is that, again, to me, when you have someone in power like we have Trump, that's going through all this stuff with the legal system, and there's other situations that I think that are, and again, this is me, but I think that there's a lot of things that happen that are set up for distraction.
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, they are shootings and they're crazy, but to me, I'm a thinker and I think outside the box. I'm like, whenever something happens, whenever a mass shooting happens, or another black person gets shot by a police officer, another distraction. So what else is happening in the news? Like, what's happening outside of what we hear from the news sources? You know what I'm saying? And then and again, you can push the idea or the narrative, gun control or mass shooting, someone shot up this and that and the third, and let's put all the attention on him when. And I could care less about Trump at this point. Like, he's going to do whatever he wants. The people voted for him. But if we're going to talk about gun control, we're going to talk about mass shootings. Let's talk about how these cats are getting away with murder. Literally getting away with murder. They're either getting sent to Dylan Roof was the first kid, our first person to get life in prison. Is he getting life in prison, I believe?
Yeah, he got life.
I think he's getting life in prison. But he's the first person that has done something, I think, that has done something that crazy, going in and shooting up 9 people and gets life in prison. But out of all these other people, they're getting sent to the...
life in prison.
He got sentenced, not life, he got death.
Oh, okay, well then he's the first person that's getting sentenced to death, the death penalty. But... you got all of these other situations where guys have shot up movie theaters and things of that nature, and they're considered crazy. Yeah. They have a mental issue.
Yeah. At that point, they're not even trying to look into it if they just like put it at that.
Like, even if they go to court and find out why his motives were, they play that role crazy. But the dudes that got shot up, like. The people that got shut up by the police officers recently, in the past this year alone, the people that got shut up by the police officers, they can't give their motive. Why? Because they're 6 feet deep already.
Right.
So how are they going to prove themselves, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, prove their innocence and things like that. They can't, because they're already dead.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not about, to me, it's not about gun control. It's about, what's your motive? Like, what is your idea? Are you scared of me? Are you threatened by me? Why are you threatened by me? Police officers are throwing this idea. Oh, I'm threatened by a lot of people. I thought that he was going to shoot me. I felt unsafe. You're the freaking police. You're the one with the gun. So how do you feel scared of me?
Yeah, you took the oath, not me. Like,
Right.
I work at Kmart. I don't work at Kmart.
Right. You're the one that's supposed to be
Yeah.
have self-control and things of that nature. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
They're supposed to be trained for that.
exactly. So I'm just saying.
Oh, speaking of which, though, so Meek Mill.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Meek Mill. How does Meek Mill get 2 to 4 years for a probation violation?
A rapper. If y'all don't know who Meek Mill is, he's a rapper from Philly. Young rapper. He's signed to MMG, Maybach
Talented.
Music Group. Rick Ross founded him. Just with a few other artists that Rick Ross have. He has Meek Mill, Wale. He has a gentleman by the name of Rocky Fresh. Those are just a few of his artists. But like you said, your boy was on probation, and he had charges on him from his past. But I'm sure that he's done a lot of great things in his career, and he gets put on probation. All right, it's cool. Gets put on probation. He violates his probation for popping willies on a motorcycle.
That's insane. And you would think a celebrity who has money is able to get out of that
Sure.
or something. But
Sure, but does it make sense for him to get 2 to 4 years?
Yeah, not at all.
For violating his probation, where you got cats that are killers getting the gentleman that raped the young lady at the university.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? I'm looking him up real quick. Go ahead.
The story is that he went to a party. The girl got drunk. He got drunk, but he took it amongst himself to put himself on this girl. She was walking home, I believe. Brock Turner.
Brock Turner got 6 months, served 3 months.
6 months. He's supposed to do 6 months.
He got 6 months, served 3 for raping somebody.
And everyone that was there knew he raped.
Wasn't he found guilty?
He was found guilty.
6 months.
6 months,
bro.
6 months in jail, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But he served 3.
Served
That's
3.
insane.
Wealthy family,
Athlete,
Of course.
athlete, student at like a big school.
right? White, white boy.
Ghostface.
No, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
It's crazy. And then somebody violates a probation, or they had a thing too where they had showed a guy side by side that I think it was the same judge. I'm not too sure, but almost the same case. Young athlete rapes this girl or whatever, found guilty. Black dude. He got like 18 years.
Yeah. Same
Wow.
scenario, everything. 18
That's
years.
insane, bro.
Yeah,
3
that's
months.
insane.
So from the first point we was making about like the gun control thing, and you were saying that what's the motive? I think that kind of stretches out to this next topic, which is what's the issue there, bro?
Yeah.
You
And
know,
they
like
say they're trying to look out for this kid's future and everything, or at least the judge was, but that's going to be the same guy going out there doing other stuff.
Right.
Later,
because you weren't
because he
concerned
can
about a
get
lot
away
of these
with
young
it.
black people's
Exactly.
futures.
And
Yeah.
what does it say about the judge?
Exactly. Yeah.
Not to say that there aren't good cops and good judges and all that stuff out there,
Of
but there's a real problem that seems to happen quite often.
Who's holding these judges accountable?
Nobody. I just seen a thing about the other day about another judge that's sending another judge to prison and stuff like that.
Yeah, the young lady.
Yeah, what's
Have you
that
seen-
about?
That was new to me.
Wow.
I just saw that last night.
Yeah, like she had just got out and she like, had another hearing and she sent her back. They're both
No
judges.
They
Was she
messed-
black?
Never
She
yeah,
looked
she was
black.
black. Yeah, she was a sister.
What'd she do?
To be honest, I'm not even going to sit here and say that I know, but based on like the messages and the comments, a lot of people were saying she's a judge somewhere. I believe in VA. She's a judge there, and like she's been doing a great job trying to get people off of cases that are ridiculous, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're just going against the grain with her, finding all any and everything that they, and she's not staying in jail for a long time, but like she's basically putting them on blast. Like, what are you doing? You can't send me to jail off of an idea. Like, you have no proof. You have nothing
Yeah.
you have nothing on me to send me to jail. This is illegal. The clip that you were talking about, she was like, "This is illegal. This is illegal," and it's hilarious when you see the person that was telling her, "All right, come on, let's go." The cop that was pulling, all right, let's go, come on. Like, really?
Wow.
I'm saying, like, imagine if that. Let's switch roles. Imagine if that was you.
Yeah, that's insane. You wouldn't
no
even
sympathy,
get a word,
no
anything. Yeah,
That's wow.
That happens a lot of times. Like, when there's one person trying to do the right thing, everyone, like, it's really hard to do that because you're the one person sticking up, but everyone's gonna tear you down pretty much because you're gonna expose everything. You're gonna expose everyone. And
a lot of people have like
for them.
a lot of stuff invested into stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
so much deeper sometimes,
like,
and
almost like a shut up, don't ruin my money type deal,
Right. Or shut up, don't ruin my credibility or what my
like
name or whatever.
People that like have to go to prison because they have to keep like like a lot of inmates in there and stuff. Not this one judge. She's not gonna come along and be like, oh no, that doesn't make sense. They're gonna stop that. They're gonna put her away.
Man, there's a lot to talk about, man, because then that goes into mass incarceration. Like
exactly,
the jails are trash. That's a business.
A business all by itself. And let's not go deeper than that. Again, there's always something that you can tie into mass incarceration, gun control. All of these things tie into one mindset and one thought process. And
I don't think, this is what I think. I don't think that everything is set up 100% to hold black people down. No. I don't think that's the case.
No, because I think that we need to take accountability for our own actions.
Of course,
because we're not again. It's not some. I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't make mistakes or people are just like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think people are people,
right? Like, when something's working, say like a team's winning, people are gonna bet their money into it, and then at that point, they're gonna do anything to like make their money keep rolling in. They're not gonna stop that because it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, the team sucks. No, like when you got millions and billions and dollars into that, you're not gonna stop it.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I don't think everything's built for. I don't think everybody's sole intention is to hold black people down. But I do think wealth is real wealth. Is generational. It comes from families. And so like there's people obviously nowadays that you have new money type people. And like, all these self-made billionaires, millionaires. But then before that you have like these families that own stock and own people and own like land. Right. And that gets passed down, it gets passed down, it gets passed down. And those people, built a lot of these systems and stuff like that we have now. Oh yeah. And so those are the issues that we're having is with things like that. Like that we have systems that are set up for the for the profit of a certain type of individual or certain
for the destruction of somebody, for destruction of a people or a zip code, if I can say it like that. It's the same thing as a the war on drugs and gun control. Like they all tie into, but again, for me, I look at it in a way where it's like, well, who owns that resource? I was telling somebody this at the gym last week. I was like, everyone's screaming, oh, this, that, and the third, but I'm talking about who owns that resource. Yeah. Who owns the gun control? Who owns the gun world? The people that manufacture guns and things of that nature. And you know what I'm saying? And who's allowing them to bring that type of artillery into a resident or type of a neighborhood or things of that nature. I understand guns could be cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's macho when guys collect guns, but you have to most definitely have to be responsible enough to understand and know that this is a dangerous tool that can take someone's life.
Yeah. I think that's on small scale. I think with a lot of these issues come these smaller problems. Sure. So I feel like then attacking the issue at the root is the solution. So I mean, like with like certain prejudices or certain like systematic setup of a lot of things, then you have a lot of these smaller issues. Like you have a lot of crime in poverty-stricken neighborhoods. Sure. And you have like people thinking it's okay to like do certain things. And it's like, well, what does that come from? It comes from, that, and then it goes to another step and another step, and then I think at the end of it, I heard this in the movie one time, but I think it's right. At the end of all this crime is a greedy white man somewhere,
right, eating chicken wings
somewhere, just like
in
licking his fingers.
fingers.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of it, it always goes back, and there's some guy sitting in his suit somewhere in his big, $10,000 chair, talking about like, how can I make some more money?
Right.
And that all that stuff just trickles down and trickles down and trickles down, and then now you have some poor little kid somewhere, thinking it's okay to rob somebody at gunpoint because he ain't got no money.
Sure. So when you have that idea where it's like, you're in a poverty-stricken neighborhood or zip code, and your only outlet is to rob somebody because you don't have any other options. You know what I'm saying?
Or you think you don't have options.
Or you think you don't even have any options. Well, then, what are you supposed to do? And then people have this put out there, or there's this narrative that, grabbing a gun and robbing somebody or grabbing a gun and shooting somebody is okay. Or it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's to me, again, gun control can go, it has pros and cons. Having guns, there's pros, there's always cons against, because death, when you kill somebody, no, that's of course that's a given.
You have to have like some different type of mindset at that point, because that's like way more than anything else.
Sure. So
but we can talk about all that stuff too, like the gun controls and everything. But I feel like, when you're talking about the kid, like what makes him go into somewhere and like pull his gun out or whatever. But
and a lot of these kids are privileged. If you think about it, a lot of these mass shootings, a lot of these mass crazy shootings, and I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of the mass shootings that I hear about, a lot of these kids are privileged. They're not crazy. Mm-hmm. They're not like, I work in a field where I deal with kids that have issues. Mm-hmm. I deal with people and teenagers that have behavioral issues. Mm-hmm. These people are emotionally like jacked up. Yeah. So for me to know and see that type of vibe, but then you hear a story of a kid that's in college. Mm-hmm. This is not a kid that's not like this is not a kid that is like still trying to figure out his way in life. Your boy's established. His family's established. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
like he made a choice with like being in the right mind. Like he's not lost. He's not confused. He's not trying to figure it out, or like, was lost at that moment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So again, I mean, a lot of these huge mass shootings, again, they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They knew that I need to, at this point, this amount of people are going to be at this area. I need to have this amount of like material.
Wait, so do you think they're set up, or do you think someone's going out and shooting people?
Depending on the situation. A lot of them, I mean, again, some of them that I've seen, like the one in Vegas, I felt like that was a setup, because it doesn't make sense for a man of that age to be just going upstairs, taking all that type of gear in the 12th floor and just massively shooting people randomly. But then you see on the 4th floor, based off of other people's video recordings of another flickering on the 4th or 5th floor. So explain that.
Something was going on. Yeah.
Something else. I'm talking about those type of shootings. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you have the ones that are like the gentleman that shut up the church. Yeah. Like that right there, like to me, like that's ridiculous. Like if you're going to call somebody crazy or call them like psychologically crazy or whatever, well then where's the tests to prove that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Show me and prove to me that this dude is a nutcase. Yeah. Then I'll believe it. Other than that, I don't even want to hear that narrative. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
But we never get to be crazy.
Right.
It's always, it always ties into us not having fathers and stuff like that. And
we're just thugs and gangbangers or something like that. Like, or we're dead because we can't push our innocence out there to the world and let people know that, no, I'm not a crazy person, or I'm not like no thug that you think I am. Yeah.
I know this dude. I ain't even want to say his name because he don't deserve it. Right. But every time something happens, man, every time some situation comes up on the news, like a shooting or a police shooting or something like that, and if it ever involves race, he's always on the defense of the police because he's an officer.
Right.
Of course.
And oh my God, I hate talking to this dude.
Right.
And no matter what happens, man, he will find his way into one of my comments, and he's one of those people, and this kills me. He denies that racism is a problem in America. He denies that
as far as like racism not even existing.
He says it exists, but it's not an epidemic like people want to put out like it is. Okay. He won't deny that there's police brutality or even a problem with that. Every shooting, everything that happens, he's the guy like, well, what did they do wrong? Nothing.
Is he a white guy?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a like
okay.
The video of Eric Garner was getting choked out.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, what about that? And he was like, well, he should have just complied. Like, that type of dude. And that stuff kills me. It's because like you're so oblivious. You think that it's so impossible for racism to be a thing. Like a few years ago, like it wasn't everywhere. Like in his head, these types of people think that it's impossible for racism to systematically exist.
Right.
But what kills me is that like a few years ago, systematically it existed.
Right.
So you mean to tell me that you can't fathom that racism existed in our government, and,
right?
And laws weren't set up.
Right.
And there weren't constitutional things or
right.
whatever in our law that were racist. So you want to believe that today it's so impossible when a few years ago it was in the law that we couldn't be certain places and we couldn't do certain things. We couldn't sit near you or use the restrooms like you or go to your schools.
Sure.
And so today it's impossible. So those types of people kill me, bro.
And it's not even those. It's that, but then also it's hilarious how you and people of color, and I'm not even talking about just black people. I'm talking about people of color. How we have this idea that because there's people that get off boats now that come here with no money, but they can go to a bank and take out a business loan and own a gas station or a 7-Eleven. Open up a business. And again, to me, it's like, how do you go from slavery? We get some type of freedom in their mind, or they push this idea that we're free, and then we quote unquote we're free, and then you don't give us any type of resources to build or grow or to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Holocaust got bread. Yeah. People from the Asians got bread. You know what I'm saying? The Jewish people got bread. They got breaded up. They got something to get themselves back
to rebuild your community.
We had the situation where there was a town that they rebuilt, us black people. We rebuilt and started our own businesses and pushed our own. You know what I'm saying? Black Wall Street. And they had their own business. We were thriving. We were doing everything on our own. We didn't need anybody else.
Had your own bank.
Exactly. And all of us, and then
bank, on hospital,
exactly.
On airport.
Exactly.
A dollar would circulate in the community for a year.
Exactly.
A year. So money wasn't leaving.
It was staying in the community. And then all of a sudden, because some white folks was jealous or was hating behind that, that's when, you know what I'm saying, you go in and destroy that type of mindset or process.
When's the last time you're not teaching that in schools?
You're not.
I learned about the Oklahoma City bombing.
Right.
Which is the same city where Black Wall Street was, but I didn't learn about Black Wall Street.
I didn't
learn about Black prosperity or Black wealth.
I didn't hear about Black Wall Street until like maybe a couple years ago.
Me too. And I feel like in school you're taught about Black history as slavery.
Right.
Black history goes way before slavery.
Or inventing something.
Yeah, we didn't start with slavery. You
So
know? So those are the small things that are pushed that makes you think certain ways. It's almost like an inferiority type of thing.
Sure.
And so like you grow up feeling like the white, and like I said, like I don't have anything against white people, but we grow up with these thoughts and ideas that like this is what success looks like.
Right.
Like that, black is bad and white is good.
Right.
And on a smaller level and on a bigger, like, not so, how do you say it? Not so plain level. It's like not that black is actually bad, but
Sure.
like wealth is
Mhm.
like being from these types of families or
Sure.
looking a certain way or talking like you. If you're successful, then you get to wear a suit.
Sure.
And you get to talk a certain way.
You get to
And-
be in certain circles.
Yeah,
and-
and like that's success. It's
Right.
like, but if you want to like be who you are and look a certain way, that's not success.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like you're successful if you get to wear a suit that that we didn't wear suits where we come from.
Right.
But if you're successful, you wear a suit and you talk a certain way and
Yeah.
and you have a certain watch on or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and that was not something we created.
Right.
Something we adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now like we are all aspiring to try to be that.
Right.
And it's like that's not success to me. Like when my brand pops, like I'm gonna look exactly how I look now, and I'm not gonna be putting on a monkey suit just to look at you guys and have these meetings with you guys and
Sure.
and have to not get certain tattoos or looks or wear my hair a certain way because it makes you feel
Yeah.
like I'm not professional. Like nah,
So-
I'm not gonna buy into that.
So when you tie in gun control, when you tie in all of these situations that people are getting sent to jail, and like a Meek Mill situation, or the gentleman that shot up the church and killed 20 plus people, and things of that nature again, and then again, we still don't have the verdict behind that situation, but I'm pretty sure, just like every other person person of color like Meek Mill, he got 2 to 4 years. The gentleman that shot up the church that killed 20 plus people, we haven't heard his verdict yet, but I'm sure
I think he
that
died.
He killed himself.
I think he killed himself.
I think so.
Oh, he did.
Like he got shot and wounded, and I think he went ahead and killed himself.
By somebody that was there.
No, somebody wounded him, and it was like a chase. And I
Oh,
think he
okay,
ended
I
up,
see what you're saying.
finishing- I think I don't remember, but I think he ended up finishing it off himself.
Yeah. So I'm saying, with all of
Trash.
these shootings, with all of those type of shootings, and then like all of those police officer shootings and things of that nature, all of them all of them tied together, because again, they're using a gun, they're shooting. So who's taking the mantle? Where are these police officers getting their orders from? No police officer just gonna randomly pull out their gun. You have some probably that are that,
Yeah.
but I'm saying a police officer, like someone of character and decency and order. Like if you're getting, I'm not, and again I could be wrong, but if you're getting orders to do this, you're gonna follow those orders. If you're gonna try to meet your quota for the month, you're gonna do whatever it is that you need to do to meet your quota, whether it's giving a ticket or shoot somebody. I don't want to say it like that, but it's,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? That's what it
Yeah.
seems like. I'm gonna meet my quota, so let me just go ahead and antagonize this person.
I don't
in the
even
car.
think it's that, bro. I just think, like there's, like this is like I've been saying, like with wealth and with all these other things comes like this inferiority,
Sure.
and this superiority,
Sure.
and so, as a police officer, I feel there's a lot of superiority going on,
Yeah.
and so, like I think, aside from the guns, it's like how these people feel.
Right.
And so, like, whether you're black, whether you're white, I just feel like as a police officer, you put on that badge and, like,
You feel some type of
at the end of
Yeah.
the day, it's a job. I think this is what I think. It's a job. And so, and I'm probably going to get hated for this, but I feel that way about everything. I feel like you try to blanket everything as what it's supposed to represent.
Right.
But I actually look down at the people and I say, like, for example, if I know Veterans Day just passed and people are going to hate me for this, but it's the truth. So I feel like Veterans Day, it's cool. It represents something great. We live in a country that, that we happen to have like a lot of like access to stuff and a lot
Sure.
of freedoms that other people don't get to exercise. Cool.
sure.
But I feel like there's a lot of people that are in the military that I probably hate. I probably can't stand being around them, and they're probably idiots and jerks, probably racist and stuff like
Yeah.
that. There's good people
They're
too.
just people.
Yeah, they're just people.
Just
Sure.
like
And the
everyone else,
military,
yeah.
for a lot of them, is just a job, just an option. And so I feel like at the end of the day, like I could see you somewhere and get in an argument with you in traffic and be like, man, I hate this dude. I want to, smack him around. But at the end of the day, like, oh, he's in the military. And then I'll have to like, tighten up and be like, oh,
Right.
thank you for your
Respect
service.
them. Right.
Like, well, nah.
Yeah.
Like, you're a person. You decided to go.
Right.
And you decided to go. You probably didn't think you was going to get shipped out or whatever.
I feel
and,
you.
Yeah.
And so no disrespect to that, but I feel like it's just an option.
Right.
And it's cool. I go to work every day. I don't always do like the best,
Sure.
I try, but then
Yeah.
I have bad days and I have good days, and some days I just don't feel like messing with the people that that come in.
Sure.
And so for like cops, for them, a lot of them aren't swearing this oath like with that true intention. It's not like, you know what, like I swear to God I'm gonna like protect these people. It's kind of like, now I heard they was paying pretty good,
Right.
and I'm tired of getting bullied, so I'm gonna go out there and
and at the end of the day, like some people they think of this job and they think, wow, I'm gonna go into this and I'm gonna serve, or I'm gonna protect people and stuff, but after like a few years you wake up every single day and you do the same thing. You're just thinking of the same thing, like, this is my paycheck, let me go out there and just do my job. You forget about that, like you lose that.
You gotta go and clock in.
A lot of people think about that,
and I'm sure you do build these mental like prejudices, and you got to really check yourself, because at the end of the day, that's not my job, that's your job,
right?
You signed up for that, so you got to check yourself. You got to make sure that you might have gotten a call to like 3 Vietnamese people this week, and every single one of those Vietnamese people was tripping,
right?
And so now you can't walk around on your day off mad at Vietnamese people,
right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Or how many people are really going to be able to do that?
And then your next phone call at work is another Vietnamese family, and you want to show up and you want to be just as mad at this family as you was at the last one,
right?
And it's kind of like, you can't do that,
right? Because
not everybody's the same. Everybody's people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's not even like they had an encounter like that when it was on their job. Maybe it was even before they were a police officer. Maybe before they even like served or had any type of job like that. They already go into it thinking that way,
right?
And they're just people. So
and that's what I'm saying. I don't have that blanket respect for people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like, oh, you're an officer, I respect you. It's like, no, like you're probably a jerk.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you served in the military, so I'm gonna go ahead and respect you.
No, like you show me respect, I show you respect. Like,
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry,
Like you don't get
way,
automatic respect for me just because of because then people can walk into my job and think like, oh shoot, like you work at this type of place, I'm gonna treat you this type of way, and it's like, nah, like you know what I'm saying?
Just like how the president, a lot of people think like it's the same thing. It's like a lot of people think that because Trump is the president, I have to respect this dude. Things that, no,
because of your platform. I respect people for his title. It's kind of like
no, he's a jerk. Like no, he's
I
a
think
racist.
This goes for everybody. Like you. I mean, it'll be mutual. The way you treat me is the way I'm going to treat you. I don't really care what title you hold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everyone's a person. You still have to respect. Like, you still have to earn your respect. Yeah.
Sure.
I remember being with my grandpa one time. We went to like Hardee's. I don't know if you're from the South or the East Side or East Coast. You'll know like Carl's Jr.'s over there is Hardee's, and so we was at a Hardee's for breakfast. And then I remember seeing this guy. He looked homeless, like he was filthy, and he was at the soda machine like pouring his little drink, and my grandpa was telling me like, oh, that's my friend, blah 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 blah. He's a multi-millionaire, but he looked homeless. And so I was wondering, like, I was not wondering, but I was thinking like, imagine how many people like step over this guy not knowing that he is a multi-millionaire, and then the change that happens once they find out how much money he has.
Oh yeah,
it goes from like disrespecting him to like respecting him because of like some title he holds, when you should have just respected him for who he was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so you don't get this blanket respect from me. Yeah. And like at the end of the day, like I could have met him and thought like, oh, this guy's either a cool guy or a jerk, and the amount of money you have or the title you hold or whatever does not matter to me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I think our issue with a lot of that is these cops get this respect automatically, and so when you question that, and it's like, no, you don't automatically get that. You came over here yelling at me, assuming I was somebody.
Correct.
So you need to check yourself.
Right.
And a lot of people are just comply. Like, no, you don't come out yelling at me.
Right.
At the end of the day, like at the end of the day, like you have to almost, unless you want to get into that, you have to almost like protect yourself and just do what they say. But I remember planking out multiple times on the floor for no reason, just because the cops wanted to mess with me.
I remember buying my car and cop pulled me over and pulled out his gun and thought that I stole the car.
Wow.
I didn't have tags on because I just bought it. Pulled me over because my car, at the time it was glistening. It was shining. It was, brand new. Got it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you got them tins on there.
Yeah.
They clean though.
They 22s. No, but like a brand new car, didn't have my tags or anything, but I had my paperwork and everything. So he pulls me over, him and his partner, one person on my left, one person on my right. And this is before this whole epidemic of just like police shootings. This is way back in the day.
Yeah.
And so it's like 2009, 8 or 9. And so he's got both of them walking to my car slowly. The guy on my left, hand on on his pouch with his hand on the gun, and the other dude on my right pulls his gun out, but it's facing the ground. And I'm like, what in the world? So you know me, I'm just sitting there like, yo, this is ridiculous. Yeah, like what's going on? They come up to my car, they see the tags on my window. The one on the left pauses. He's like, hey, you got tags on the window. The dude on the right, like, okay, puts the tags. And I was like, what's going on? They get to my window, and I'm asking, so what's going on? So is this your car? Yeah, it's my car. I just bought it. Oh, because I just realized that you didn't have tags on, and we've had a lot of stories or just like issues with people stealing cars in this neighborhood and this and that and the third. So I was like, so pulling your gun out, sir, is the number one thing to do when you pull somebody over. Is that what we do? No. I was just trying to make sure, because again, we never know in these type of situations. I was just like, all right. And again, I'm not knowing anything. Like I'm just kind of like going with whatever. But I did say, I'm like, oh, so pulling out the gun is the number one thing. He was like, oh no, that's just protocol and everything. I was like, protocol is pulling out your gun on a situation and pulling some random
that
person
you don't know
that you don't know of yet.
First, assuming you might be someone who stole a car.
Exactly.
Second, we're gonna come at you like this.
Exactly.
And then like, you know, then it makes you think, like, then you tell these people, like, and then you wonder why we having issues with y'all.
Yeah.
Like, so then I'm gonna have to just go throughout my days knowing that I'm gonna get a gun pointed at me every now and then, and just be cool with it because you scared.
So the gun. So if we're gonna talk about gun control, who's handling the guns? This cop pulled his gun out.
I think gun control doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to start with us. It start with the police.
Exactly.
They want to ignore that they out there shooting everybody else.
Thank you. Start with the military. Start with the ones that have the guns that are using these tools to. And I'm not saying this in a mean way or narrative, like in a mean way. I'm just saying everyone that has a gun doesn't mean that everyone that owns a gun or in the military that owns a gun, or everyone that's a police officer that owns a gun. They're not. A lot of them are suit for one, like, but majority of them are not mentally stable to own a gun. They can barely. If you have a fear in your heart, and this is the job that you went out for, trained for, and you have a fear in your heart to like be scared to pull your gun out and just automatically just gank somebody, you shouldn't be a police officer.
So, real quick question: how do you feel about? I know that everybody in this room right now, we're conscious on these types of situations. So we understand, like, you know, there's an issue, and there's like a lot of like people that have like these predetermined like ideas of people that look a certain way. Yeah. But what do you guys think of black people that don't necessarily believe that this is going on? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Like they're black people that think that. Go deeper in that. What do you mean?
I don't want to call names out right now, just because.
Like, you mean like black people or a black person that doesn't.
Don't say it like that.
Think that these
she's like black people
or a person. Let's just say a person of color.
Yeah,
person of color.
Like like a person of color that doesn't believe that these issues are actually going on.
Yeah. For example, I talked to a couple people. I talk about this stuff a lot. I'm talking to a certain person, and they're kind of like, no, like I grew up in a negative, environment, and I didn't have, like all these teachings like everybody else, all these white people did. It's like, and I'm fine. So, but you know what I'm saying? So like, you just need to stop acting the way you're acting and get off your butt and all this stuff. Like I can get that on a one-to-one level. So I feel like, me and you, well, we have, like the drive to do that. But I feel like at the end of the day, I had a strong mama, and I had, strong older sisters that would pump it into my head. You're not going to be some thug. You're not going to be some loser. Or my mama, like, you pull your pants up right now. But there's a lot of people that don't have that.
Right.
That don't get these opportunities and turn left.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do you feel about people that don't necessarily agree with, like, the whole government, police brutality thing? What do you think about that?
I think that it's just, honestly, like their upbringing. Because if they've never experienced poverty, then you're not going to know what poverty is. Same with white people. If you've never experienced hardship. There was a clip that I seen on Facebook of a dude where it was like It was like a random selection of people, and he was like, if you haven't had to struggle for a meal, move. They're in a line.
Ooh,
Everybody was
I
in a line.
just watching that
You
one.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like
Oh,
he was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if you
yeah.
haven't had a struggle in life for a meal, move 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
line of
it,
kids.
Yeah.
What was it? It was the
It was like a PE teacher or something.
no,
Yeah.
it was called something. What was it called?
Oh, I'm not.
It was
I
called
forgot.
privileged. Like if you don't understand privilege.
Yeah, if you don't
Oh, yeah,
understand
yeah,
privilege. And so the idea of, oh, if you've never struggled for a meal, take 2 steps forward. And if you've never had to if
you both parents live in the home, take a step forward. You know what kills me is like somebody posted this the other day. I like it, but I this girl I went to high school with, this white girl I went to high school with, posted it.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, this is so amazing." She's like, "But I don't think it's about race. I think it just depends on like your upbringing." It's like I get it. There were some white kids in the back. It's like, but what you don't realize is like this is for a majority of people that look like you.
Exactly.
So
and
like because of one of you or that are in the back, like I get it, that sucks. It's like, but that doesn't speak for the multitude of people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So again, if you want to be politically correct, let's just be honest. You guys are privileged. A lot of people are privileged to be in the spaces that they're in. Yeah. And I'm not using that as an excuse, because again, if you're just like a deadbeat and you don't want nothing, you don't want to excel in life, then that's your issue.
Yeah.
So
but like I think everybody has privilege.
Sure.
Everybody, certain, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They have privilege, but I feel like whenever I hate having this conversation, but I have people that will come to me, white people that come to me, and they'll say, "Oh, you want to say white privilege?" He's like, "But I grew up and my dad was in prison my whole life and all this stuff." And I was like, "Okay, you're one person,
right?
And
drive to the east side."
On top of that, it's just like, okay, your dad was in prison, but you're still good,
right? You still have life. You still
yeah.
you still have an advantage over me. Why? Because again, you don't look like me.
Yeah, you walking into an interview, you might get the job.
That's the whole "I'm not racist, I have a black friend" type thing. Like you think your one little situation is gonna change everything? Like exactly. Nah. And so I hate having those conversations with people. And then I lost my thought. I lost my thought.
Well,
bro.
Back to what you were saying, it's like how would we feel if someone thought these issues weren't like really there?
Because you said
if they were privileged,
if they did experience these things.
What if they did experience these things and then they changed their mindset and they were like, you know what?
That's my point.
I think it's, that still isn't the issue. The cops, the government, the society isn't the issue. I think it's like you can still change your life.
Right.
And I think some people we have met people who do think that way, and I think those people were strong enough to do that. But at the end of the day, when these things happen, even when someone goes out there and kills all these people, I still think like, wow, what in their minds or in their life, what happened that made them think that this was okay? Like what's going on in your head? What's wrong with you, or what's going on? But so then you think like, maybe they were strong enough, maybe they weren't. And some people are going to be strong enough to go through, go through their life and succeed and not care about these issues or think that these issues are okay. But some people aren't going to be that strong. And I think that's the type of people that think that, like these issues aren't a problem because you can still succeed. It's like, no, not everyone's going to be as strong. Some people, maybe you did have a rough life and you succeeded, but not every kid's going to be able to do that. You know?
I mean, everyone's experience is different.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sit in front of me and shy away and make it sound like or seem like, oh, none of these things is like a big issue.
Right.
Of course it's not going to be an issue to you if you're not experiencing, you're not going to feel the hurt or the frustration that I have to go through as a black man, knowing that I have to drive around feeling a certain type of way whenever I see a cop.
You have to teach your kids like
exactly.
You know what? I remember
how
just
to deal with that.
Exactly.
being around, and my sister's like, take off your hood, or don't look like that, or don't move,
cut your hair off.
Yeah, don't reach the thing too fast and stuff like that. And so now I have this weird fear when I see instead of like seeing a cop and thinking like, yo, that dude's protecting us. It's like, man, like I don't know what kind of dude that is. Like, I'm not sure who's coming to my window, Yeah. And so like I multiple times I get pulled over and it's kind of like I like look at them in the face. I'm like, I'm getting the thing, man.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Like.
But again, you having to do that. You have the ones like we said before that would say dumb dumb nonsense stuff like, oh well, they shouldn't have did this, they should have done that. Well, again, this is coming from somebody that doesn't know, that has never experienced those type of fears or that type of idea that, oh, it can never, like, don't matter what you say. At the end of the day, we're in a disadvantage because, again, there's things that we have to go through and things that we experience daily that the normal person or a person that's not of color has to experience.
The whole privilege exercise.
Yeah.
He was like, at the end of the day, he was like, there's $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody, like, you can come get this $100, but everybody that got to take a step forward first, then it's like, all right, so everybody run and come get this $100.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the dude was like, I even bet that this black dude can outrun all you guys.
Yeah.
He's like, but like he's in the back. Not that he doesn't have the opportunity. So he could, if he's fast enough, he can come and get this $100.
Right.
Yeah.
But so how many of these other kids were way closer to get the $100 instead of him? You know how much harder this person had to work
and
to get
for
to
them
the front?
to realize you are like ahead of other people, and they don't want to, like, people don't want to realize that. And those were kids.
And it's not their fault.
Never experienced
But
that.
just
They would have never
realize
known.
it.
Yeah.
Just recognize what it is. It's fine. It is what it is. But like, let's just not pretend it doesn't exist.
Right.
Let's not pretend we're equal.
Right.
Like, I got to work 10 times as hard as you.
Right.
To get somewhere.
What's that situation that's on the internet where it was like, her name is like Jane Elliott or something like that?
Yeah.
And she was in the classroom.
She's crazy.
And she's a G though. Like she
yeah.
really
She'll
puts it
take
out
no
there.
BS.
She was like, if you're a white person, to every white person that was there, and I think there was a majority of white people in the classroom. I think it was at a university. She was like, raise your hand if since you know what's been going on with the black communities and things of that nature, shootings and things like that. Raise your hand if you would want to experience that.
It's like, change places.
Like,
if you would trade places with a black person,
would you trade places with a person of color, knowing the things that they have to go through? Ain't nobody raised their hands.
So
what does that? So again, and these weren't kids. These were adults. These were adults.
Yeah, they were getting credit. That's why they went to these things, because you get like a credit for like attending this like little like exercise.
Yeah.
So when you push that narrative, that idea, it proves that we still live not only in a racist society. Now it still proves that we still have people that are of power and an influence making all of these crazy decisions. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to opportunity, jobs, and things of that nature to get ahead in life and get, I'm not saying that it's for everybody, because a lot of entrepreneurs have gained their own wealth, but I'm talking about all of these corporate gigs and situations and trying to be a boss in these big major situations or these big businesses. No, a lot of them are owned by loads and loads of white folks. Now, again, has nothing to me talking about being racist, but I'm saying this is the reality of it. Me as a black man, I can't walk up into the company of any major company without going through loads and loads of hurdles just to even be seen.
Do you remember a few years ago when Kanye had an interview? He had an interview with Charlamagne at the Breakfast Club and stuff, and he was so turned and he was so mad. He kept talking about money, and they was writing dude out, and they was talking about him like, why are you so concerned with money, man? You have the money, do it yourself. And he was like, you don't understand. He's like, I have money. He's like, but it's like hush money. It's like, I have a lot of money. It's like, yeah. It's like, but it's not the same. Like, I don't have a seat at the table. Right. I don't get to call shots. It's kind of like, yeah, you're rich, shut up. It's like, no. Yeah. But do you realize that? Look at this. For the same thing, and they was riding dude out. But look at this. Colin Kaepernick still doesn't have a job.
Exactly.
And Colin Kaepernick was a millionaire. Yeah. But you know why? Because a white man owns his team. And a white man's like, nah. Yeah. Right. You're done.
Yeah, your career's done.
Cut him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole point is, how many black NFL team owners are there? Do you know?
None.
That's crazy.
You got coaches that are black.
Coaches, but their job's not guaranteed.
Right.
But who's firing these team owners?
Exactly.
Nobody.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think we need to like really work and work. And it's funny because they was riding dude out. And from day one, I was like, I listened to that interview over and over and over. And I'm like, man, like, I see what he's talking about. Like, they're joking. They're making fun of him. It's like, but like in that room, none of their jobs are secure. Yeah. They could fire Envy. They could fire Charlamagne. They could fire Yee like that and replace him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, who owns iHeart?
And that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's about when you look at the overall picture of everything, to me, this is my opinion. When you look at overall picture of everything, I look at who owns the resource. Take away water. If I took water away from your life, you know how much control I have I have. If I took away food, if I took away electricity or entertainment, you know how much control I would have over your life.
Yeah.
So who owns guns? Yeah. Who's owning that market?
Right.
And what's the agenda? When I think of guns, I think of military. When I think of military, I think of wars, shooting, protection, things of that nature. I'm not saying that it's the thing that we're supposed to be doing every day and shooting people, but I'm saying when you think of guns, it's not a happy thing. When I think of guns, it's something violent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So who owns that market?
I think, man, we're gonna start winding this down, man, so we don't have an extra long one like last week. But I just think you spoke on Black Wall Street the other day.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I feel like people think that black prosperity equals to racism or separatism. And it's not that. It's just like, I just want to even it out. Right. I want to kill that inferiority that black people have. I don't want obviously we're going to have rich people, we're going to have poverty and stuff like that. That's what it's going to be, but I'm tired of going down to the bad neighborhoods and it being full of just black people.
Right.
I'm tired of that.
And then you go somewhere else and then you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, like I feel uncomfortable in La Jolla. People be looking at me like a visitor and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, why are you here?
Yeah, like, I hope he's not staying. You know?
Shoot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just hate that feeling.
Yeah.
So like you spoke about Black Wall Street a minute ago, and I just feel like I think that we need to do that again. We need to support black business, and we need to have a community like that where we can kill this inferiority that black people have, and we can like start emptying out these neighborhoods full of like, you know,
how many black businesses do you guys know of?
How many? Say that again.
How many black businesses do you guys know of?
I know a grip of them, but the thing is that.
Where would I go? You know.
Well, I mean, there's
you buy coffee from Starbucks, where like Lil Ray got a little Starbucks stand or a little coffee stand over there.
Yeah.
And because it's not at a Starbucks status, you don't support. Or you'll have people that own businesses, and again, there's this narrative, and it goes right back to what we were saying when it comes to just not supporting each other. It's like there's this idea that because you have a coffee shop, I'm not going to support because I don't have a coffee shop. Like, why not? That's retarded. Yeah. It's a person that's doing something.
Hey, we didn't even have that conversation yet.
That's another situation. But what I'm saying is, because again, our topic was gun control, and also talking about how the system is not set up for people of color.
I think the topic was deeper than gun control. Now the topic, I think, changed into it evolved into something, and gun control just happens to be a byproduct. Or gun problems happen to be a byproduct of our bigger issue.
The bigger issue is, again, the powers to be. To me, the powers to be, who owns these powers, and who's pushing the narrative of just, you know, it's the same thing with the drug war, same thing with gun control. Who's pushing that narrative?
I feel like, like I said, black people, we need to start supporting black business, and black people need to come out from among them and be ye separate.
Right.
No, I'm just playing. But we need to like really like switch it up, man. I'm tired of seeing, you know, I feel like when you kill that, people like, here's the other argument. People always, they can't say it no more, but like, I'm not racist, or this is not a racist country. Look at who's the president. I'm like, you know, with a whole black a whole white everything else. He don't have no power.
Right.
He's the face.
Yeah.
But he's not making decisions.
And his whole campaign was racist. What are you talking about? Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
And so like, all I'm saying is like, when we kill this black inferiority thing, I feel like it changes things up. And there's a lot of cats, and I know there's a lot of cats that we know. Yeah. I know there's some cats that we know that don't even believe this is a real thing. Right. And don't believe, like, you know, stop complaining, man. Just go out there and hustle. That's cool. I can go out there and hustle, but like, how are you going to change it for like hundreds of other black kids that are in the schools? Like, how are you switching that up?
Or better yet,
tell them to go change it.
Stop complaining, just hustle. Well, are you going to help support what I'm trying, my hustle?
Right.
Yeah.
Or are you going to complain? Are you going to complain and say,
support anybody?
Exactly.
I'm down to hustle.
Yeah, any hustle. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, don't give your opinion or your idea when you're not making a solution. You're not creating the solution or solving the issue. Don't give me your opinion about anything when it comes to racism or anything like that. What you think police are doing, because it's obvious if they're shooting up people of color, and your idea of these people shouldn't. Don't give me none of that when you're not even in those neighborhoods trying to help.
Right.
Period. So you're a joke if you have an opinion and you're not in those neighborhoods like working with the kids, seeing the hardships that they are, the people that are seeing the hardships that these people go through. Yeah. And there's literally people trying to make it and trying to figure things out that have nothing.
Not going for a day and volunteering, but try to live there. Try to like walk down the streets. Try to be there every single day.
Exactly.
And even if a white person were to go and do that, they still wouldn't experience the same thing.
It wouldn't
be on the outside.
They wouldn't.
And this isn't to knock white people, but there's just like an understanding that we need to come through. Like, I think let's just understand what it is and let's work together on fixing that. Like, I feel like white people, we've been supporting y'all stuff forever,
every day, and it's cool. We support it every day.
Yeah, like and like so let's just all recognize that there's an issue at hand. Like, and that's it's not even just black people, but like let's start there. And let's just kill this notion. Look at this I feel like it's a chain of events. So I mean it's a chain reaction.
Sure.
So if we kill this black inferiority and now black people get to look forward to being something other than an athlete or a rapper.
Yeah, because they want to point out everybody who made it, like, oh, look at this person, you can still make it. But it's like that doesn't mean that everything that's going on or that things should still be okay.
Someone told me racism's not real. Look at the NFL. And I was like,
yeah.
What?
Some dude really told me that. It's all black people. I'm like, come on. But see, but if we had something to look forward to other than being a football player, other than being a basketball player or a rapper or a singer, like, so like basically like I'm no good unless I have a mic or a ball in my hand.
Sure.
No, what else can we do?
Right.
And then so you have black people that can look forward to that. We have generational wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so
there is no generational wealth. Not with us. Not with us. Yeah. Not even people of color.
We need to create.
Think about it. Exactly. We have to work harder. We have to work 10 times harder just to build that wealth. There's people that are sleeping and waking up in stupid money. Like they can wipe their asses with $100 and it wouldn't hurt them.
And so but when we create this, like imagine if Black Wall Street never got burnt down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We would be able to look forward to something way different. Like I can own a hospital.
Right.
I can own an airport or a plane.
Exactly.
Like a commercial plane.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then like, so you switch it up and like, so these kids grow up wanting to be business owners. And these kids grow up wanting to be something other than Lil Uzi or all these little gangbangers that they following and stuff like that, you know?
But because history went down the way it did and it's history. These are stories that are not made up. This is stuff that you can look up on Google and look at how these people went in and destroyed their campaign and their empire. I look at the Black Wall Street as an empire. The people of white folks went in and destroyed their empire. What I'm saying is, again, when you start something, instead of hating, instead of being jealous, or instead of thinking that, oh, because you're doing something great, I'm not going to be able to, you're going to have power over me. That's what it is. It's just a power control. Like people, no one wants to give up they don't want to share power. And I'm saying they for a reason. They don't want to share their power. They don't want to give their power away. Yeah. So what do you do?
Imagine this. Imagine how powerful it would be if all the people you know and all the people I know and all the people you know came together and put together our resources and just worked day and night at building one thing, one empire. Mm-hmm. Like, so we all met, like we would have a board of all these people and we just put this together. So, hey, there's just one thing we want to build up. And let's say it might not even be mine.
Sure.
It may be your situation or your situation, but like we all came together and built this up. And once that built up, and you have a platform, you have the funds to build up somebody else.
Sure.
And we just did that. You know oh my God, you know how crazy that would be?
Imagine where we could be within a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But like, it just kills me to think that like this, like, we all know a ton of people. And so like, why have different situations where we could all work at building yours up first, and once yours is popping, like, all right, now let's work on mine,
right?
And let's work on this person's, and let's work on this person's, and they collectively just build everybody up.
Yeah.
But there's so much self-serving, just selfishness going around. Like I can't even count on my hands how many times I'll give up my time to help you build your situation.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's not always about me and mine and all that stuff. It's about like, what can we all do together? So when I pop, you pop, and when you pop, I pop. How can we do that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like, it doesn't we don't have to be the next rapper or the next, like
could be
let's
the
just
best
build an
businessman.
empire.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So again,
Support black business,
right.
and Mexican business,
or not even businesses. We got to start with each other first. We got to love on each other first. We got to love each other first. And I think that that's the number one thing that we're struggling with in this country. Like, we hate each other so much, or we hate different things about that person so much because of just their melanin or their skin tone or whatever. We're still dealing where you from and all that. We're still dealing with that. Put the materialistic stuff away. Put everything else away. If you can't love me for who I am as a human being, you have a dirty heart. Like, your heart is trash to me, bro. Like, or your heart is trash to me.
You should be able to.
And there's people who even feel like that, even not even based on skin tones or anything like that. Like, people are just like that. People look out for themselves. People are like,
keep it in the family. No, don't get no. You better not. Like, come on, man. Like,
just a lot of
like
stuff,
churches. I'm saying, if we all have the common goal, then why are there churches across the street from each other?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just join your church?
Right.
Why are we like if we have the same goal, same belief, then why, if you're winning this community, why didn't I just go somewhere else?
Exactly. Why don't we just put all of our resources together and build one conglomerate, huge, mega something, so that we can all do the work?
We can all fit in the same building instead of you paying your bills and I lost my building. What are we gonna do? Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense to me.
So again,
there's too much self-serving.
Yeah. To tie this whole conversation up, again, it's bigger than gun control. We can come to an understanding. It's bigger than gun control. It's bigger than Meek Mill getting 2 to 4 years of probation. Yeah. It's just bigger than that. It's bigger than guys going in, shooting, doing these massive shootings and things of that nature. There's a bigger narrative behind all of this stuff.
Love.
Yeah. Lack of love and lack of understanding. And again, a lot of people are using these tools to express themselves as far as like their frustrations or like their anger or their behavior, and they're lacking something. Yeah. And I think out of everything that we go through and everything that we experience, whether you're a cop, government, whatever, it's lack of love. There's people today that seriously, literally have a bitter heart and just have no sense of gratitude, no sense of love, no sense of just open to new things and new. So that's the narrative, lack of just love, period.
Yeah. So
with that being said,
spreading the love. Yeah. We actually want to give away some Thanksgiving turkeys.
Yeah, in the season of giving.
And so what we were thinking is maybe, if we're going to post this on Facebook or something, if you're listening to this and you're in need of a Thanksgiving turkey or something, like, we're trying to put together some funds and give some turkeys out. All we ask for is, a brief, like message or, just a story, just, you can tell us about your situation and stuff like that. And we're going to read through them and try to help you out the best that we can.
Or if you know a family that's in need, let us know, because again, there's people that we can connect with, churches that we can connect with that also give out resources as well for Thanksgiving. Not just us, but there's other people in the community that are giving out free foods, and we can most definitely contact and link up with their organizations. Again, information, if we have the information and the tools to help feed a family, then it's just best for us to just remember to give at this time of need. And so
make sure you because there's gonna be a lot of people in need, and it breaks my heart that I drive home all the time, and I'm on a motorcycle, so I cannot really just like stop and I just see these people just sleeping outside. I'm like, man, like these people, like there's people that are like right like next door in their houses having meals.
Sure.
And there's like 10, 15 people sleeping on the concrete in the freezing cold right outside your door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, how do we do that? How do we live like that on an everyday basis? And so, the holidays are coming up, and most people have like somebody to go to, and there's a lot of people that don't. Yeah. A lot of people don't have the funds to like feed their family for this type of time. So we're willing to help out.
Yeah. So again, if you have any foods, again, we're going to do our best to give out turkeys and things of that nature. But if you have any loose foods items that you're not using, Again, make sure that you leave a comment under our Facebook post, or leave a comment under our SoundCloud post, or if you know us personally and you hear this podcast, just let us know, because again, the resources are out there, and we're at this point, we're just trying to help make sure that a couple families, or a whole neighborhood has a warm meal in their bellies at that time, and just try to be a help and a blessing. So yeah.
So anything else?
I'm good. Just remember to love your neighbor.
Yeah, go. This is what they've been doing at my church, man. And I don't really I don't love to go out and just talk to strangers, but it's like a good thing. It's really effective. They want you to go out, and they want you to meet at least 3 people.
Yeah.
And learn their names.
Sure.
And actually talk to them. And, and I feel like that's good. That's good to do, like, even outside.
Yeah.
Like, if you're somewhere, just like meet somebody, you never know, and that's another problem with people going around
when you're outside, not
shooting
just like
stuff
in your
up.
church, but
just outside. Just meet somebody and you just shake their hand.
Introduce yourself.
Get to know who they are. They don't have to have a suit on. They could be on the sidewalk, with rags on, and just talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Everyone's story is so crazy and so different.
Yeah.
You'll never know who you'll meet.
Yeah.
There's a homeless guy outside of my job, and I started talking to him a while back, and I just see him every day. He just sits there. He can barely walk.
Yeah.
He sits there in his wheelchair, and so I just think, just a little conversation here and there every day, it changes, people's days. So.
Yeah. So remember to show love, give love, express love to any and everybody. And it doesn't matter about race or anything like that, but just give love, and and just start from there. Let's just start from there, and then just watch. I'm sure everything's gonna blossom into something bigger and beautiful.
Woo! All right.
You feel me?
So we will see you guys here next Monday. I think that's the next one that this podcast comes out. Podcast number 5. We are still looking for a flipping name.
Yes.
And it's 5. We're 4 deep.
Yeah.
And so like we have a group text. We keep writing each other. So we'll be arguing on there and stuff. But if you have a name, go ahead, and we are desperate. Give us that for the holidays, please. Please.
Right. Let that be our Christmas gift to us. You guys giving us a name.
If you guys don't give us a name, we're going to call it Thick Chocolate.
Oh, shoot. No, but we appreciate you guys, everyone that supports us. Again, be sure to follow us on SoundCloud. Remember to leave a comment down below.
Share
the post when we post
like
it up. Yeah, that's right. Like the thing. And again, we appreciate everybody that supports us. Again, keep following us. Stay locked with us. And we'll just keep rocking these podcasts out until we die. Ride or die.
That's a long time.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me, guys, as your guest.
We appreciate you
for today.
Yeah, I guess human.
Nah, you did your thing.
Thank you so much, guys.
You look a little prettier than Locks does, so that's cool. A little prettier.
I hope you enjoyed. Again, we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you guys.
And I hope you enjoyed. This is not the last, because we got some other
Definitely
topics. We're going to need your...
Maybe I'll be back if I get invited.
Yeah, we got some topics for sure that we're going to need your opinion on, because again, it's going to get better and better and better.
Right.
Yes,
don't forget, if
make
you
sure
need
to
your...
listen, guys.
Girl. Yeah, don't forget, if you need your hair done,
Yes.
go and check her out on Instagram at Dolled Up by Dahlia. Dahlia is Dalia.
Yep. Dolled Up by Dahlia on Instagram.
Check her out. If you think she can hook you up, hit her up.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was
Message
smooth.
me, anything.
Yeah.
Right.
And other than that, you guys, we appreciate you guys, and we love you all. Again, peace out.
Woo.